Come on in, guys. This is Three Bold Takes. Freddie, Chase, and Quinn. As you can see, guys, we're so happy to be back. College football is right around the corner. We're heading into week 0 here, where we get the Ireland matchup to start with Kansas State and Iowa State. We already did some of those predictions, but we're still continuing to do all week 0, week 1 predictions on the channel. It's just what we do here at Three Bold Takes. We're super excited, and we're going to start off with the college football playoff team themselves. Boise State at South Florida, top 25 team to start the year in Raymond James Stadium. And we've seen USF give some trouble to some top 25 teams when they come down to the Bulls' home territory, maybe like the Crimson Tide. I don't know. But anyway, Quinn, we got Boise State. We've got South Florida. Who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I like the idea of a trap game here for Boise. As much as a week 1 game can be a trap game, right? I like the idea of Boise slipping up down in Raymond James in Tampa. You lose Ashton Jeanty. You were the G5 team. I think everyone kind of expects Boise to be good again this year. I've seen some high-end people pick them as their G5 team again for this season. I think they get the job done against South Florida, but I will say this. Boise State will not be the G5 team to represent the G5 in the playoffs this year. They won't even be the team to win their conference, but we'll get to that when that time comes. I got Boise State taking care of South Florida down in Tampa.
Quinn, I think we're on the same train here. The reason why I think Boise State has the number 25 next to their name is the AP voters were like, well, we have to have a group of 5 team in there. Throw Boise State. They made the playoffs last year. They're a notable name, whatever. I don't expect Boise State to be the representative in the group of 5 again, just like you said, Quinn. However, there's a good chance it does come from the same conference, but I'm thinking of another team, which we will get to later on down the road. But for this game in particular, yeah, man, like Boise State, like they're going a long way to South Florida. It's going to be a home opener, long travel. Give me USF in the upset here against Boise State in week 1. I just think it's going to be a different Boise State team. The spread is currently 6.5, so less than a touchdown. I don't know, man. Them USF boys, they're pretty big, and that's one thing that is a little surprising to me. Honestly, I figured the spread would be maybe 3.5, since it is so far away from Boise State's home base. But give me USF to get the upset here on the very first game of Week 1, Thursday. Give it to me.
Yeah, and you mentioned upset here, Freddie. I think when you look back at this game, I think it's going to be like the Georgia Tech Florida State game from last year. I don't think in the long run you're going to see it as an upset, but definitely week 1 you can see that. You lose Jeanty, but not only do you lose Jeanty, who is one of the most powerful rushers to ever come through college football, but also their defensive line. They lost a lot of good guys to the draft. I thought that were when you look back at that Penn State tape, there was a reason Drew Allard could not get going in that game a lot of the times is because that pass rush for a group of 5 team was very menacing. They were really good. I was very appreciative of them. I thought they did a really good job, and a lot of those guys are gone now. You got Madsen back there, quarterback still, but I don't think he worked super well without the run game. So that's the biggest question mark here. And of course it was like, I don't really know why Chase is saying this out loud, but the question mark being the running game. How does the play action play off of that? How does the passing game play off of that for Boise State? I think they still get it done in this game, though. I think they still beat out South Florida. I think they edge it out. I don't think they lose here, but this Boise State is not going to be the Boise State team of last year, mainly because of the rushing game, but also very undervalued. Their defense will not be the exact same that it was last year that helped. It's kind of like looking back at when Cincinnati made the playoffs against Alabama. Look back at that defense and then tell me who you see. There were a lot of undervalued pieces that went on and were solid contributors in the NFL, and that's going to be the same way for that Boise State team. So I'm going to take Boise State in this one. Me and Quinn will have both of them. So then Freddie will go with the upset for South Florida. We're going to take another one, another green team, Ohio at Rutgers, guys. I didn't give you the line earlier. Let me go ahead and jump into here. This one is on Thursday the 28th. We got a 5 p.m. kick. 14.5 spread in favor of my Scarlet Knights. Over under is 46.5. Freddie, we're going to toss it to you first, my friend.
Well, I just want to say this, Chase. I know that you were high on the Rutgers train last year.
Yeah, come on.
I'm curious if it's going to happen again this year, but we'll get to that probably in about 2 minutes after me and Quinn go,
Right.
because it's going to be quick. But Ohio is coming off an 11-3 season, MAC conference champs, bowl win. However, like even last year, whenever they played Power Four competition, they really, really struggled. Like they got blown out by Kentucky, who finished 4-8 in the SEC, or 4-8 on the year, one of the worst teams in the SEC. So I just think Rutgers is going to be too much for Ohio. However, I don't think Rutgers covers the spread here. I like about a 13-point win, 10-13, and the spread's currently 14.5. So, yeah, give me Rutgers on the game, but Ohio on the spread.
Yeah, Freddie, you took it right out of my mouth. I was going to take Rutgers here by about a 10-point victory. I think Rutgers is one of those teams that they win ugly against teams they're supposed to beat. Ohio is one of these teams. I think Ohio is not like a bottom feeder G5 team even set up for this year. So I expect them to give Rutgers a little bit of competition. Let's be real. Rutgers is that P4 team that you forget's a P4 team till you're reminded they're in the Big Ten. Like, let's be honest here. So give me Rutgers to get the win, but I think Ohio's going to cover that spread.
Yeah, it's a week 1 game, a 14.5. I think every week 1, week 0 game should always be under 10 points. Both teams are going to come out rusty. They're going to come out ugly. You're tossing different schemes, looks at people. Easy for me, it's going to be Rutgers. I liked what Ohio did last year, but with a group of 5 teams in my sense, it's usually not a year after year thing for group of 5s to be consistently good. There's very few that do. And I believe Ohio as well had a bunch of guys sit out / leave in the transfer portal. I could be wrong on that, but I believe they did. And Rutgers, like Quinn said, they're just a lot like their logo, a lot like some of their color schemes. It's ugly, and that's how they play football. It's ugly. If you get down, you're probably not coming back. But once you have the lead and you have an opportunity to take that lead and continue on with it, it's very run heavy. We're going to control the pace. It's very slow, and I'm going to hit you in the mouth. That's just how Rutgers plays. And so last year they had a nasty stretch of like Wisconsin, UCLA, USC, where they just got drummed, but they won their 26-19 over Minnesota, 31-17 over Maryland. Rutgers, again, it's one of those teams like, if they could find a little bit of passing to their offense, if they could find a little bit of mojo to it, this could be a really solid Big Ten team. It could be like a new branded Iowa in a sense, where it's just how they play. So I think this year, getting started off with Ohio, I think it's a really good start for them. Again, like we mentioned, MAC champions and all. I think this will be a really fun one to watch. I'm going to go Rutgers by 3. I think it's just going to be nasty. It's going to be real ugly. So it's going to be just controlling the pace, and they have the ball last. So I'm going to go Rutgers. We all went Rutgers in this one, correct? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Making sure. So we're going to sweep here, guys. That's a good one. My Scarlet Knights are going to be 1-0 in the 3 bold takes era. That's what I'm talking about, guys. All right, on to the next one. Gosh, we're not doing Lafayette and Bowling Green, are we? Oh, gosh, thank the Lord. Sorry, I didn't know which one we were on, guys. We're going to go to East Carolina at NC State, if I'm correct here.
Yep.
Just make sure. Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about some Carolina teams. We got East Carolina at North Carolina State, a 6 p.m. matchup on Thursday, a 12.5-point spread for the Wolfpack, and an over-under of 60.5. Do we really believe that one's going to happen? I'll start this one since you guys have. No, it's not going to happen. Easy as can be. This one's going to be North Carolina State in my sense. But I do remember me and Quinn this time last year saying how North Carolina State is just one of those teams that hangs around. The ACC is a solid, very controllable team that really knows what they're doing. And then last year, just the bottom fell out. I don't know what happened with them. Maybe it was losing Devin Leary. I don't know. But anyway, I think this year they kind of get back to that bread and butter of they're going to be a solid defensive team. Their offense is going to have to show up a little bit to win some games, but they're going to be a lot better than they were last year. They finished 6-7 with a bowl. Oh, wow. Sorry, guys. They finished the year with a bowl loss to
Uh-huh.
East Carolina, 26-31, the Go Bowling Military Bowl. Wow, I did not catch that one straight off the dome. With 6-7, so you get a revenge game to start the season against an in-state rival. Yeah, give me North Carolina State. I'm taking this one all day.
I wouldn't call it an in-state rivalry, but it is an in-state game. You get a revenge matchup here. Yeah, give me NC State to win this comfortably. They're not going to hit that over-under by any means, but I like NC State to get the win here, like 38-17, 38-14. Like, I feel like they're going to comfortably dominate in this game, get revenge for their bowl loss, start their season 1-0, and give themselves a chance to kind of get back to that NC State that we know and love as a consistent 8-win football team.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to go NC State here as well. However, it's going to be interesting to watch because, yes, they did play last year. East Carolina did get their quarterback back again. I believe it was a sophomore last year. And 2 of the top 3 receivers are coming back too, so the offense should be pretty good. Over-under of 60.5. I'm going to venture to say that's an over. Week 1 in a rematch, there's going to be some kinks that need to be worked on both defenses as well as offenses, so could be some sloppy play turnovers that lead to some easy scores during the game. But NC State definitely is going to win this one.
Okay. All right. So we sweep a second one in a row. How many of these games do we go where this happens? Well, we're going to go to our next one. Quinn's feeling froggy. Okay. Jacksonville State at UCF, the new CUSA at the new Big 12, FBC Mortgage Stadium in Orlando. UCF, a 16.5-point favorite, gentlemen. Over under a 52. Quinn, we're gonna take this one to you, buddy.
Yeah, Jacksonville State had a great year last year. Get ready to sign me up as a hater, though. UCF wins. I hate to be that guy. I do like the over, though. You've got a Rich Rod offense at Jacksonville State. I think they're going to put up some points, but I still just think there's too much talent over there with the Knights at UCF for Jacksonville State to be able to hang for 4 quarters. Give me UCF and give them by 20.
Not really much else for me to say there. Quinn kind of hit the nail on the head. I just think Jacksonville State is going to be outmatched and outmanned in this game. UCF definitely, with the loss of Gus Malzahn, is going to be interesting to see how they can bounce back. But other than that, I don't see a reason why Jacksonville State would be able to win this game.
Both first-year head coaches, Charles Kelly, and now, well, first year, but he's been there before. Scott Frost is back at the helm of UCF. I'm kind of perplexed that you guys don't even think this game will be any kind of interesting. UCF is just going to be outright. I mean, you got to remember, it was only a few years ago. UCF was a Group of 5 team too.
Yeah, but they were
the national title, right?
Oh, okay. There's Freddie. Freddie's got jokes today, guys. Tap in with Freddie and his comedic show after 3 Bold Takes is over. I think it's going to be a lot closer. Jacksonville State had a really good run last year. Not just they're a really good run, but I'm talking about 44, 63, 54, 42, 44. Like, that's what they were putting up. They were putting it up in conference play. Now, I'm not saying the CUSA is this great conference, but UCF, like, yes, they're in the Big 12. That's a cool stamp to put on them, but they haven't done anything in the Big 12 yet. Like, they had a couple of decent wins, but they haven't shown, like, how they've just truly transformed from UCF, the Group of 5 team, to UCF. We're a Power 4 team. It's still in my mind, they're still a little brother of Group of 5. Am I just way off on that? Am I the only one that feels that way?
I would say you're the only one. In my opinion here is, like, UCF, yeah, they just moved up to the P4 from the G5, but they were one of the premier brands of G5 football for the last 5 or 6 years. Now they got a coach who he's back in a place where he can actually win, not in a place that drains all the talent away from you like Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And he can win a football game for a change again. JSU with a coach change, I just don't think you're comparing, like, bottom here to a team who's kind of in the middle.
Man, this one's tough. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm taking Jacksonville State. I'm gonna go it.
Unbelievable.
A 16.5-point spread on a week 1 game is just, it's laughable. I don't even know why you put that up. You really, I don't know. Jacksonville State is a great team. They already have the pieces in place Charles Kelly is from the Alabama tree. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to set a culture right away in Jacksonville State. Yeah, I'm going to go Jacksonville State. I'm going to take the upset in that one.
You're reaching. You're reaching.
I am. This is a little bit of a homer pick for our Alabama people. I'm going to take a little bit of a homer pick on that one. But, yeah, UCF hasn't really jumped out. And I just feel disrespected for the Gamecocks. And we're going to stay cocky over here on the Three Bold Takes Network. That's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. We got Wyoming at Akron. Is that correct, gentlemen? We're going to take Wyoming at Akron. Akron, Ohio, the home of LeBron James himself. I wonder if he's going to be in attendance for this one. Wyoming is a 7.5-point favorite over under 50.5 on Thursday, 6 p.m. Man, if you're not tuning into this, what are you doing on Thursday night? Let me just ask you guys, what are you guys doing on Thursday night instead? Freddie, we'll take it to you first, buddy.
Yeah, this one's tough. By the way, LeBron would be probably at the Ohio State Texas game. He is a profound Ohio State fan. Anyways, Wyoming last year went 3-9, right? But that was under first-year head coach. It was a lot of things that happened with that team last year. The recruiting has ticked up a little bit from last year to this year. Akron at home, 7.5. I think Wyoming wins the game, but by 3 points. I don't think they cover the spread. It's going to be a tough road environment. I can't believe I just said that. But it could be. You never know, okay? If you look at the Akron, like message boards and stuff, I don't know who would be doing that, but they're very high on their program in 2025. So if you go to them, they say they're going to win the game. I say Wyoming's going to win the game. I just think they're a better football team. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I've got Wyoming winning, but with Akron covering the spread.
What you got, Chase?
This is basically pick 'em. Again, 7.5 for this game. I'm not really sure why they're not just saying, hey, please throw your money in the fire and just pick whichever one. I mean, this is I'll raise you Wyoming winning 3 and Akron winning 4. How about that? It's a real fun game we're playing here. It's not one that I'd like to play with every team. The 4 wins they got in overtime over Toledo, a 25-21 over Eastern Michigan, and a 31-20 over Colgate. They beat Penn State decently, but we're not going to go there, right? Just for gigs, I'll go Akron here. Let's just think of LeBron James, our glorious king. Let's think that, he might have some kind of power over the Akron city that day, and they get the job done over Wyoming. I am just thrilled that we get to speak on this one, guy. Quinn?
Yeah, I'm going to say this is some disrespect putting Wyoming as the favorite over Akron in this game. I really like home field advantages when you're talking G5 versus G5. Not necessarily because the atmosphere is going to be crazy, but just because travel is harder on those teams. They don't have the luxury of super nice travel. So in the fact that Wyoming's going cross country out to Ohio for this, I'm all over those Akron message boards, and I am right there with the Zip faithful. So give me Akron to get a win here. They're going to build off that Toledo win, and you're going to see Akron competing for the the MAC. Yeah, they're going to compete for the MAC championship this year. So give me Akron.
Unbelievable.
Yikes.
We know what Quinn does at work now. He's on the Akron message boards.
So just going down the list, are we doing Elon at Duke, guys? Because we kind of talked before the show. If you're watching, we talked before the show. We're going to start doing spreads. That's the ones we're going to do. We did not think Elon and Duke might have a spread, but hey, if
you want to
betting
talk
on
it,
that,
I mean, we can talk it. That's up to you.
Yeah, we're here at this point. But just one to our listeners: if you're betting on this game,
get help.
Call the hotline.
Yeah,
call the hotline. Because if you are betting on this game, comment below. I am betting on this game. We're going to ask you where Elon is at, where that university is at. If you can't tell us, then you need immense help and probably 3 straight jackets. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say Elon at Duke, we're all going to go one way here. It's a 33.5-point spread.
Yeah, 33.5 point spread. Give me Elon on the spread and Duke to win by 30.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll take Duke for all three of us. Oh, my goodness. I'm not even going to talk about that one again. But we get to have more fun, guys, because we're going to talk the Skyhawks at Oklahoma State. UT Martin at Oklahoma State. That one's only 22.5 points, guys. That one's just as fun. Are we really wanting to talk that one? And Mike Gundy? Maybe actually we can take this time, instead of talking about the game, because we all know where we're going to pick, we can just talk about Mike Gundy and his hair. Should he be fired? Should his hair be shaven off? I don't know. Guys, anything?
Dude, Mike Gundy really let me down last year. That was a bad performance. I think they bounced back, win this one easy. They're going to cover the spread on UT Martin, but they got to get their act straight going into Big 12 play this year.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what else to say on Gundy. I think it's been heavily documented on this program that we at one point was pro fire Mike Gundy. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden he won 5 games in a row, and then he had last year, and it was just an abysmal year. So I think we're all on the same train of fire Mike Gundy. And that train is still a chugging. Even though they get this win, it's not going to matter in my eyes.
I want to throw this in there. I'm pro Mike Gundy because it's time to get him out of there and really take advantage of this. I mean, who are the prominent teams of the Big 12 now? It's Utah and Kansas State and Texas Tech. So take advantage of this moment. Get you a coach in there that can actually capitalize, because I think Gundy's days are gone.
Yeah, I think it's one of those Mac Brown situations, or even Nick Saban. Just say, hey, we're very thankful for what you've done. More like the Mac Brown situation, but in a Nick Saban way, because of what he's done for Oklahoma State. Is like, hey, yeah, it's time for you to go. But at the same point, maybe here's an office role. You can still oversee. You can still do stuff for Oklahoma State and the Cowboys. But, yeah, because you need new blood, man. Like you're saying, Quinn, you need new blood at Oklahoma State. You got to have a new style of offense, get a new modern aspect to the team, one that really worships and knows the transfer portal in and out. That's a big thing today. And I think Mike Gundy's just fallen by. I think he's fallen by the wayside for a few years, but you're about to see it more than ever. I think these next couple of years, depending on how much longer he stays. But yeah, if you want to call it a bounce back, Quinn, sure, over UT Martin. But yeah, we'll all take Oklahoma State here in this one. We can go ahead and do the next couple as well. Buffalo at Minnesota, Stephen F. Austin at Houston. Any objections, fellas? Any? None?
Hey, I need to know those spreads if you want me.
Okay.
I mean, we are predicting these games, Chase.
Golly. Buffalo at Minnesota is 15. Minnesota is favored by 15.
Oh,
Houston,
they're going to cover that easy.
22.5. All right. Minnesota and Houston for everybody.
Give me Minnesota to cover. Give me Stephen F. Austin to cover.
I mean, it's just simple at this point, guys.
Wow.
It's week 1. Guys, if you're watching the channel, we're so thankful you're here and you're sticking with this one. We know some of these are tough. Thank the Lord we're not talking to Delaware's at Delaware State, So we could make it worse for you guys. Hope you're enjoying it so far. We're trying to make this as fun and enjoyable as always. But we're going to move on. Sadly, guys, Alabama State at UAB doesn't have a spread.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it was. Now, on to the next one. Oh, good one. Nebraska at Cincinnati. That was a decent one. I'm actually thrilled with that one. We're at Kansas City, Missouri, Arrowhead Stadium. Guys, ever heard of that one? The Ravens have, and it gives me nightmares. Nebraska, 6.5 favorites. Over under is 53.5. Freddie, we'll talk to you first, my friend.
Man, so this game I think is one of the more underrated games when you look at like what the projection of each one of these teams this season is going to be moving forward. This is one that Nebraska has got to have, right? Like last year, they made a bowl game. It was great. You got to do better than just making a bowl game at this point, and I wouldn't even say it's necessarily competing, in conference play, but not being bottom of the barrel enough to where you barely make a bowl game, right? Like I'm thinking an 8-4 is what is needed from Nebraska this year, probably in a step in the right direction. However, if you look at Cincinnati, underwhelming I mean, absolutely underwhelming. These past few years after they hired Scott Satterfield, um, just underwhelming. I mean, they made the playoffs, right? Lost their quarterback, lost head coach, lost a lot of players from the team to the draft, and then since then, he just has not been able to um, do anything. To be honest with you, so very underwhelming there. Give me Nebraska to win this game. Like you said, man, spread at 6.5. I think Nebraska covers this spread. I honestly think Nebraska's offensive line is going to be way better than it was last year. You won't have to rely on Dylan Raiola's legs as much. I think it can be used more so as a weapon than trying to get out of pressure like it was last year. So give me Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying an 8-4 Nebraska to me with this schedule is kind of like going par with 6-6. That's my personal opinion on that. They draw a pretty easy schedule this season. This is a must win. Now, luckily for Nebraska, I think Raiola is going to break out his Patrick Mahomes shrine, give it a couple. I got you, Pat. I got you, Pat. He's going to go out there in Arrowhead and he's going to lose by 4 points in classic Nebraska style. Give me 6 game.
Oh.
Mm. Yeah. So if you guys have watched the channel for a few years now, Nebraska's been one of my teams. Rutgers has been up there. And we already hit on the Rutgers game if you guys have watched that one. And Freddie kind of mentioned, hey, we're about to figure out how Chase feels about Rutgers here. And it's a very solid red team for me. But I don't have a coat rack here. But I'm hanging my hat on this Nebraska team this season. Look at the schedule like Quinn just mentioned. And also, look at Matt Rule and what he does as a college head coach. Temple. Third year, he goes from 2-10 to 6-6 to 10-4. At Baylor, he goes from 1-11 to 7-6 to 11-3. In Nebraska, he's 5-7, 7-6, and now a question mark. And honestly, if you want to give it to them, they could lose 2 games this year. But I only see one definite loss this season. It's at number 2 Penn State. I think they should lose that game. They have one other ranked opponent in the preseason. That's Michigan at home. You get Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota Northwestern, USC, UCLA, and Iowa. The USC, Northwestern, and Iowa games are all at home, and so is Michigan State, actually. Nebraska will go 11-1 this season. They're going to come out and spank Cincinnati Bearcats by 3 touchdowns in the opening game.
11-1 is criminal.
Dylan Raiola will be a Heisman contender this season. I fully believe it. I think this is going to be a really solid team. In all honesty, Nebraska is a very good ball team. They just had some bad breaks the first year under Rule, and then last year was a true freshman season from Dylan Raiola. You had an 18-year-old that was figuring out how to be a quarterback, and you saw that in some games. There were some games he just overthrew. He forced some passes. He made some young kid mistakes, and that's okay. He's learned from those, played in some very big games, and now he's back this season with a way easier schedule, like Quinn mentioned. Dude, he played at Indiana and at Ohio State last year. At Ohio State, they lost 21-17 in the horseshoe, man. Like that's a very big game. You played at USC last year. You played at Iowa last year. Both of those a 1-score loss. It was the simple things. It's kind of like
value
Colorado.
and losses now.
Hey, look, Nebraska, they're better than Nebraska at barely losing games.
I mean,
I'm just like Colorado a couple years ago. We were talking about like they were making some young coaching mistakes. They were so close. Last year was Raiola. It was a young kid at quarterback making some young mistakes. I'm telling you, hey, you can write it down, pin it up, put it somewhere, frame my face next to it. 11-1, 10-2 at the worst. Dylan Raiola, Heisman contender. That's what I'm thinking.
Chase, I'm just telling you, Husker Hope is a very dangerous drug. It is a dangerous drug.
Well, guys, if you're watching this channel, make sure to X out the 3 and make it just 1 because apparently only one of us has a bold take today. So, guys, I'm hanging my hat on Dylan Raiola. I think it's going to be it this year. Cincinnati hasn't been anything since they made the playoffs. So I'm going to go all in on my red team this year. Go Cornhuskers. No.
Just you. Got it.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna stick to it. Gonna keep on going. We got another one. Wisconsin is a 17.5-point favorite over Miami of Ohio at home. Guys, it's in Madison, Wisconsin. Golly, the over-under, gentlemen, is 39.5. Oh my goodness. Felt like that was an Iowa game for a second. I'll make this easy for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and go Wisconsin. Miami of Ohio had a kind of was like Ohio last year. Had a pretty good season last year. They finished. What did they finish? 9-5, and they started off the season with 3 straight losses. So they ended up on a really hot streak, but lost to Ohio in the MAC championship after they had already beat them once last season. Again, one of those that is like, can this group of 5 repeat? I'm not so sure. Fond of them. I think they're a really good ball team, but at Wisconsin, I'll take Fickle and the crew on this one.
Yeah, I'll give you one better. Give me Wisconsin to cover and give me the under. I like Wisconsin 24-7.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
Hey, look, it's gonna be an ugly football game. It's Wisconsin against the G5 team in Madison. What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Wisconsin's going to win this game. But last year they came in 15th in the Big Ten. 15th, went 5-7 overall. And I just want you to know some of these scores, right? I think when you look at the downfall of Wisconsin football last year, it does not get worse than this. A 42-10 loss to Iowa. 42. You gave up 42 points to Iowa, whose over-unders last year were like breaking records for the lowest over-under in betting history. And you get unbelievable. You let them score 42 points. Wisconsin, you got to get back to Wisconsin football and play some dadgum good defense. That's what you got to do, man. I mean,
I felt ready to run through a wall right there.
They only lost to Oregon by 3 points. Oregon scored 16 points on them last year. So the defense is there. You have the tools available, but you just got to use them, man. Like Wisconsin, dude, you used to be the 10-2 team every single year that was 1 game away from the Big Ten championship, sometimes making the Big Ten championship. And now you're 5-7 and 15th in the Big Ten. So time to kick it into high gear, but you're going to start off with a win here.
Yep. All right, so we're going to wash that one as well. We're going to take a sweep on it. That's a good one, guys. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled we're doing this. I'm so thrilled that next we can talk about Stony Brook at San Diego State at 9 p.m. on a Thursday. That one's in San Diego, if you had any clue. Guys, I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even know Stony Brook had a football team. I can't lie to you. I can't at all. But San Diego State is only favored by 15.5 points.
That's what's great about it.
The over-under is 53.5. Quinn, please, my friend, save us.
You know, I think Stony Brook covers. Give me San Diego State by 10. I've never heard of Stony Brook. They're going to cover. I feel it. I feel it.
Forgive me. I am the world's worst at college football. I should quit the channel because apparently Stony Brook was 8-4 in 2024, guys.
Wow.
Wins. They played
In what conference?
I can't even tell you. There's Monmouth on here, New Hampshire, University of Albany, Bryant, William and Mary. Is this D2? I think this is D2.
Yeah, that's D2.
Yeah. Marshall was their opening game and lost 45-3, but like they beat Campbell, Fordham, Stonehill, brother. Like this sounds like a bunch of military bases. I don't know.
Those are impressive D2 wins.
Yeah, great.
Listen to
great
Quinn. Shut up. All right, shut up. San Diego State's going to win this game and cover. This is an unbelievable game to be talking about. I don't even have anything else to say. Impressive D2 wins is criminal of you to say, Quinn.
Guys, well, we're going to finish out the Thursday slate with another sweep. We're going to take San Diego State, and again, we did all the games that had spreads. And if you're up on Thursday night during a work week at 9 p.m. watching Stony Brook and San Diego State with money on the line and sweating, there's a hotline you need to call very quickly. There's nothing else you should do but call that number. You should probably be fast asleep, milk in the stomach, cookies on the nightstand half eaten, that whole nine, a kiss from your favorite significant other, whatever. Be in bed
Your
because there's no
favorite
reason you should be up.
significant other.
You should not be up watching this game. It's not even carried by anybody. Every other game is ESPN, ESPN Plus. This one is not carried by. You should not be up even watching the live stats, box score, nothing. Go to bed.
Wait,
Go
this
to bed.
isn't even going to be on ESPN.
No.
Nothing.
What?
But somehow it has a spread.
I thought everyone got to be on ESPN. What?
Not Stony Brook. Not Stony Brook. All right, guys, we'll move on to the Friday, August 29th slate. We've got the ever-riveting in-state rivalry of Western Michigan at Michigan State, Spartan Stadium, East Lansing, Michigan. Michigan State is an 18.5-point favorite. Over under a 49.5. Freddie, what are we feeling about the Spartans?
Well, I just want to first off by saying, I don't know about you guys, but I sure do miss when Michigan State was a powerhouse in the Big Ten. And it wasn't just Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, but Michigan State was up there. I remember when Michigan State was making the college football playoffs. I remember when they were giving Ohio State a run for their money. Penn State, they were beating Penn State. Like I remember this. So far, it has not been like that in quite a long time. However, they get the win here in week 1, but I don't know if this year is going to go the way that we want it to for Michigan State yet again. I think they're going to build on last year, but I think they definitely get this win against Western Michigan.
Yeah, I like Michigan State to not only win this game, but cover this game against Western Michigan. Chase, we got to quit calling every single in-state game versus in-state game a rivalry game. Please.
Come on, man.
It's definitely not. I don't think Michigan State goes, oh, man, the Broncos, I'm sweating. Anyway, I like Michigan State to get a win here, cover. And, I think this is going to build them towards a bowl season this year. I think we're going to see Michigan State moving in a positive direction. I expect by year 3, we're going to see a Michigan State team that can actually compete with the better half of the Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Fun fact for you guys watching, Western Michigan actually had one more win than Michigan State did last season. But you got only 2 big games on the schedule this year. If you want to count Indiana, you can. But you got Michigan and Penn State. There's no Ohio State on here, so you don't have to worry about that. You get Maryland at the end of the season, who you beat very well at the beginning of the season last year. USC, UCLA, like some of the lower Pac-12s that came over. So this should be a better year for Michigan State. Hopefully a bowl season-like year for them, a 7-6, an 8-4, something like that, or an 8-5. But I'm going to take Michigan State here too. This rivalry, it's one that's not to be kind of messed with. It's something that's really tough. One of the ones when you look at this rivalry game, it is just when you watch back the film, this is a hard hitting. Just there's bloodshed, tears shed as well, mainly from the fans having to watch. But again, I think this will be a fun season for Michigan State and the Spartans. I think they'll have a better year than they did last year, and they're going to start right here against Western Michigan. So we'll just keep moving down this list. We're just having fun, guys. It's Friday, August 29th, of course. Guys, we get the CUSA team of Kennesaw State at the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. How you doing?
Ooh.
We're in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest 17.5-point favorite over under a 51.5. I'll start it. I'll end it. Doesn't matter. Wake Forest. No, okay, hold on. Kennesaw State is going to be vastly better. They were a first-time Division I or FBS team. My apologies, FBS team just a season ago. They had the. Okay, hold on. Let me, because now I'm feeling a different way. They got their first win against Liberty last season, and then immediately after they fired the coach, so it makes me want to hate on the Owls for what they did and see more of a downfall. But anyway, either way, it's going to be Wake Forest to win this game. But Kennesaw State was a powerhouse at the FCS level. We're all North Alabama graduates. We remember when Kennesaw State was dropping 70 on us yearly. And we're like, why in the world are you guys in our conference? So they are much ado ready for the FBS and have been. for a while now. I think they're going to play well, but yeah, I'll just take Wake Forest, guys. Will be easy. So
Yeah, you got to be really bad for me to not even think there's a chance you could beat Wake Forest. So give me Wake Forest to win the game. I think they probably cover the spread, to be honest.
That's tough. That's tough. Yeah. Shout out to Rob Ezel. He is an Athens graduate. He is now the offensive coordinator at Wake Forest. So shout out him. It's going to be awesome to watch him over there. But Wake Forest is by far going to win this game. If you care, it's on the ACC network, which is kind of a joke in and of itself. But Wake Forest is going to win this game for sure.
yeah,
Would you rather your game be not televised or televised on
Yes.
the network?
Not televised.
yeah. We'll keep it moving. We're going to stay in North Carolina, though. We're going to stay in Charlotte as Appalachian State goes to the Charlotte 49ers. 6 p.m. ESPNU. Tickets as low as $92, says ESPN. Appalachian State is
$92.
Yeah. Everybody wants to see that head coach in a cutoff shirt, I guess. Over under 53.5 points. I actually think either retired or like left. I don't know what he did. But yes, we got App State at Charlotte. Quinn, we'll go to you. I know this is just like your cup of tea right here.
Well, actually, I can tell you why this is a $92 ticket, and that is because, Chase, this is a rivalry game. We have
I told you
Oh.
guys.
state rivalry game. Give me App State to win this one. They dominate Charlotte. This is not they own this series with Charlotte, so I like Appalachian State to cover.
Yeah, I'm going Appalachian State as well. This is the Dukes Mayo Classic, if you guys were wondering. The Dukes Mayo Classic kickoff game. So yeah, actually just played as one of those teams in a college football 26 dynasty in the Dukes Mayo Classic. It's a little odd. I'm gonna be honest with you.
The one time I don't make a joke, it's a rivalry game. Also, the one time that I play as Charlotte in a 26 dynasty, and I played Appalachian State, and I beat them by 40, and I didn't recognize this was – guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My research in playing college football 26 was to know stuff like this, and wow, I flubbed it. Anyway, I'm going to take Appalachian State in this one. Appalachian State is one of those group of 5 teams that usually always ends up really good most seasons. They usually also have a pretty solid upset over a Power 4 team. So I'll be looking forward to that this season. I actually haven't really looked at their schedule. But, yeah, Charlotte, you're not that guy, pal. You know, whatever that meme says. So I'm pretty excited to see what Appalachian State does this season. I think they're going to start off pretty hot. They get Boise State this year, Oregon State. That's actually about it. They don't get much for Appalachian State this season. So anyway, I'll take App State in this one as well. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we will just get on down the road, won't we? Hold on. I got to get back a little bit.
Chase, you got to say it for this next game. You got to say it.
Oh gosh, I thought we were talking about Bethune Cookman and Florida International. I was scared to death.
No.
guys, I know I just messed up. I know I messed up. But we have one of the best rivalry games I've ever thought of. I've ever seen in my life. We've got number 12 Illinois. Number 12 Illinois hosting Western Illinois, guys. It's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be a crazy one. Tickets are as low as $7. It's on Peacock at 6:30. Oh, Champaign, Illinois. We've got the number 12 Fighting Illini, whatever they are. 46.5 point favorite. 63.5 over under. Wow.
There's a lot to unpack there.
I'll just take Illinois, guys. I'll just make it easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after the Illini faithful here. $7 for a guaranteed win game. What are you doing? You've got a team that's gonna be definitely a top 25 level team by the end of the year. Brett Bielema's cooking it up in Champaign, man. So come on. Get out there, root for your guys. You got a guaranteed win over Western Illinois.
Yeah.
You know, we're again, North Alabama grads here. I watched us beat Western Illinois. Like, come on, like this is a guaranteed win for Illinois. Give me them to cover big. To cover big.
Yeah, this is tough. Listen, top 15 team in Illinois and $7 after we literally, guys, literally just talked about App State and Charlotte. The cheapest is $92. And then you get to this game, a top 15 team, $7. You ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed. Illinois, you're going to win this game, but you don't deserve to with those ticket prices.
We ranting about ticket prices in Champaign, Illinois, right? Hey, whatever you guys want to do. I'll say this. I'm going to agree with Quinn, though. Dude, Brett Bielema, outside the Big Ten, cannot coach to save his life, brother. But inside the Big Ten, that man can coach. I tell you what, Illinois has been a very good, underrated team the last few years. Kind of like the early 2010s Iowa State. Not the win record, don't get me there. But how Iowa State could beat on some bigger Power 4 teams, bigger Big Ten teams. I think Illinois always has one of those in their back pocket to upset a bigger branded Big Ten team each year. And I think that's what they've been doing. But they've also been finishing out at those like 8-4, 9-3 rates. And it's like, wow, you know, you're looking at the end of the year like, how the heck did Illinois get 9 wins? Like, I swear to God, they won like 4, you know? That's what you're looking at. But it's just Brett Bielema's got them going. He recruits well, and he also does an extremely good job of in games. He knows how to handle the ball, and he knows how to in-game management. I've loved what I've seen from him, and every year I'm like, oh, Brett Bielema at Illinois, no way, I got to take them serious. But we could honestly be talking about Illinois on the cusp of a college football playoff berth next year at the end of the season because of how well they play and how well they do. So it's just a team you got to watch out for. It's not a team you can take lightly at all, and that's a reason why this rivalry game, Western Illinois, they know they have their work cut out for them in it. And so when you're looking at it, get your money, go watch a top 15 team play this year, and have some fun with it. But we're going to move on to a really fun one. Auburn at Baylor. We've seen this matchup a couple times to open the season last few years. Waco, Texas. Auburn is a 2.5-point favorite, gentlemen. The over-under 57.5. Freddie, we'll go to you first. Talk to us about the Tigers and the Bears. Oh, my.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze, man, this has got to be his year, right? Like, I mean, I think we can agree that Auburn traditionally is not a school that will take mediocrity for an extended period of time. I think this is Hugh Freeze's year. You go out and you get Jackson Arnold at quarterback, which honestly, I think it's a pretty good pickup. Now, he was very bad last year at turnovers for Oklahoma and did not pan out the way he was supposed to. However, Hugh Freeze normally does a very good job with quarterbacks. He was finally able to go out and get him a quarterback for this upcoming season. The offense is supposed to be significantly improved from last year. You got Eric Singleton Jr., you have Fields, you have a very good offensive line. And I've seen some predictions on Auburn have them going at least 8 wins. That seems a little high to me. I think 8's probably a good number. But for this game against Baylor, Dave Aranda, man, this is his last straw. He has got to be fired this year if they do not put together a meaningful season that has any sort of thing to remember. I mean, honestly, like, Baylor football over the past couple of years has been so sad and embarrassing. And I see it continuing this year. So give me Auburn to get the win here on the road against Baylor.
Yeah, you know, Auburn is one of those teams that they hate mediocre coaches, yet they're always mediocre. I don't quite understand their issue with that. Look, every team in the SEC is supposed to be improved this season, okay? And Auburn had an issue with turnovers, so they went and got the most turnover-prone quarterback that wasn't their own in the conference to fix the problem. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm tired of this magical belief that Hugh Freeze is going to fix everything. The man would rather golf than do his job, all right? So when they go out to Baylor, they're going to lose. I like Baylor and Dave Aranda to get a huge upset. And you're looking all shocked because, oh man, Baylor's been bad or below mediocre. You know who else is bad and below mediocre? Cal. And you know who came into your stadium and kicked you in the backside and walked out with a W? Cal. So give me Baylor to upset Auburn in week 1.
Wow.
Well, now it leaves it up to me to choose who's going to take this one home, guys. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this one. They've had a lot of fun in recent years. Auburn also surprisingly opens up pretty well with football. Like they played Oregon those couple years with when Bo Nix was there. They played Baylor before, so that one I'm really excited about. So a high key matchup, a Power 4 matchup here to start the season. I'm pretty excited about. I'm going back to Baylor's 2024 list as well. Look, I'm not Auburn. Auburn is one of those teams I want to watch be good again as well. Hugh Freeze, I was pretty excited about Hugh Freeze getting there because he could implement an offense that could really help Auburn get them back to a stature of respect in the SEC. He hasn't done that yet. You lost to Vandy last year. Don't talk to me, Alabama fans. I'm sorry. You lost to Arkansas last year. Sam Pittman's been fighting for his job for 2 seasons straight. You lost to Cal. You have to be very much improved. Jackson Arnold didn't move that at all. Did not move it at all. Honestly, I think this is a Florida situation like last year with Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway. I think you got Deuce Knight sitting behind Jackson Arnold, and I think he takes the job by midseason. I think that's what happens. I'll just tell it to you straight. Baylor's no good. Auburn's no good. I don't know. I mean, this is like bad against bad. And you also got, let's just talk about the extremities on the outside. You got Dave Aranda saying some crazy stuff in post or interviews this offseason. I don't know what's going on there. Hugh Freeze has found out that he hates Jackson Arnold from videos of practice you can just see and made a horrible decision. So you got a lot of the stuff just going on outside. And then the golf game, I don't know what's going on there. Love the Lane Kiffin poke. So another cool storyline to watch is the Walker White from Auburn, the quarterback that had the shot to start, is now at Baylor and is primed to be Baylor's starting QB week 1. I'm going Baylor in this game. I think Baylor's going to take it as well. Dave Aranda usually has a very stout defense. That's what's really leading me on here. He usually has a really good one. And Auburn's offense has not shown anything in the past couple of years that says, hey, we're going to have a pulse in this game against a solid Power 4 team. And we're going to finish up our Friday, August 29th slate. We've got Georgia Tech at Colorado, Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado, as you guys know. Georgia Tech is favored by 5, 52.5 is the over-under. And a lot of people are looking at this great matchup, right? Neither team's ranked in the preseason polls. Great matchup, but this isn't the Colorado of last year. This isn't the Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. The only name still attached is Deion Primetime himself. Freddie, what are we feeling for this game?
Listen, I'm going to be honest. I think it's kind of absurd that Georgia Tech is not ranked in the preseason polls after the year that they had last year and a lot of returning production coming back this year. Honestly, they're a sneaky dark horse contender for the ACC, in my opinion. They don't have that tough of a schedule this year compared to last year. And I'm just really high on them. Like you mentioned, Colorado is a completely different ball club. Like Deion has been away from the team for a long time with his health issues so far in the offseason. I'm glad he's okay, by the way. We did not do a video on that, but super glad that Deion is okay and glad that he's going to be on the sideline coaching for Colorado in 2025. Georgia Tech's favored by 4. I like Georgia Tech to win and cover. I like a Georgia Tech win by 10-plus points here. I just think they're a well-oiled machine coming from last year to this year. Like I mentioned, a lot of returning production. And because of that, man, I just think that they're going to be able to give Colorado all that they want and some that they don't want in a 10-point win here. It's going to be a tough environment to play in. Listen, Georgia Tech's got a long way to go all the way out to Colorado. Deion has really changed the environment at Colorado. We know this. We've seen it for 2 years now in the environment at Boulder, but I still think that Georgia Tech's just that good of a ball team to be able to come in and win.
Yeah, I'm actually again, on paper, this looks like a fun game to talk about and to watch. And all you Dion lovers out there, this is nothing against Dion and how he coaches and the man that he is, but it's just Colorado's not going to be the same team this year, even remotely close. They kind of pulled Colorado out of the slums, but what has he done recruiting wise to really up the level of the Buffaloes post Shador, post Travis Hunter? Defense hasn't made a lot of just crazy moves. There's been some like highlight names like Jaheim Otis from Alabama, the big D tackle. You got Julian Lewis, another big quarterback name. Hopefully he is good, but we haven't seen him play in college yet. We don't know what he can be. And then you get Salter, Kadon Salter from Liberty, and we're still trying to figure out who's even going to start for the Buffs week 1. So you're trying to figure that out. And then you didn't add any receiver help. You lose Jimmy Horn. You lose Travis Hunter, who helped out a lot last year. Your line was still not great last year. A lot of that was Shador's playmaking and reading the defense, him taking his time in the pocket, which led to sacks. But also the offensive line was not, let's just be plain honest, it wasn't the best line in the country. So that's something you walk into. And this Georgia Tech team, it came out firing last year. Granted, they did beat a Florida State team that went like 2-10 or whatever it was, 3-9. It was a bad Florida State team.
1-11.
1-11. Okay, 1-11 it is. And this Georgia Tech team is super exciting. Last year they lost a couple games just because it was close. They lost the Florida State game, the Syracuse game by a score. Then they lost the Louisville game by a couple scores. But they also lost 2 games when Haynes King was knocked out of the game. He was already injured. He wasn't able to play in those games, and that was the Notre Dame-Virginia Tech game. But this team also took a top 10 Georgia team to 8 overtimes, and Haynes King was putting his body on the line repeatedly. And then we were actually at that Vanderbilt game when Haynes King and the team, there's a large thunderstorms and stuff like that really took him out of the game, almost came back and won that one. But if Georgia Tech, kind of like how I mentioned the Dylan Raiola Nebraska thing, if they can figure out a couple of these bumps, figure out a couple of these things to do right, I think this is a ball club that can win a lot of games. They upset Miami last year, nearly again, almost upset Georgia. This is a really good ball club. I'm taking Georgia Tech the full way too, just because there's question marks around Colorado. And, I'll give you another bold take. I don't think Dion is the head coach of Colorado after 2 years. Not because he's doing bad, but more so I don't think he wants to coach college ball as much as we think. I think he's a great name and he's a great recruiter in essence, like in theory, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to continue his coaching career at the college level, at least.
I don't think that's a super bold take. I think that's honestly a take that probably a lot of people agree with. They just may not want to say it. And I do want to correct something that I said a second ago. Florida State did go 2-10 because I know I'll get flamed in the comment section. They were 1-7 in conference play. They actually beat Cal. That was their only conference win. But anyway, yeah, 2-10 for Florida State. So
yeah, I was about to say, I thought.
Yeah. So both of us had Georgia Tech.
Yes, we both have Georgia Tech. We're gonna sweep there.
Yeah, I assume that Quinn is going to go Georgia Tech as well. But staying on the Friday night slate, we've got an 8:30 matchup. Now, this is a time where this is week 1, but we've seen both of these teams play, UNLV and Sam Houston. UNLV comes in as a 10.5 point favorite. Total is 60.5 over under. This is a weird one, man. Like, you got a UNLV team that played terrible in week 0, and then you have a team in Sam Houston that got blown out in week 0 by Western Kentucky. So, Chase, I'm gonna send it over to you. What do you like?
Thank the Lord we have seen both these teams play. I'll tell you that right freaking now. Because a week ago, if we'd have chosen these games, I would have went UNLV wholeheartedly all the way. There's just too many defensive liabilities. There's defensive liabilities on both sides. But I saw a Sam Houston team that played in a conference game week 1 against a team that's probably going to be in the CUSA championship game, and they still put up 24 points. They played well, just Western Kentucky's a little bit better. And it was also week 1. Now, do you get Western Kentucky later in the season as Sam Houston play a little better? Probably. But at the same point, week one, you still put up 24 points. You play really well, but UNLV, what in the heck is that? This was almost the East Mississippi Community College of a group of 5 football, FBS football, where they've got just tons of kids from Power 5 programs. Alex Orji from Michigan, who's supposed to be the next great thing after J.J. McCarthy. You got Justin Flo, who's bounced around from Oregon and Arizona. You've got a ton of kids just that are just littered with Power 5 experience, and they played an FCS school that, I mean, I think they've only been up and running for less than a decade or something like that. I can't remember when Idaho State was. I'm probably totally wrong on that. But even so, name me a time you've heard of Idaho State making headlines at all. I mean, probably building out their program was the start, and that's probably the last time you've heard of them. And so you're going to go toe-to-toe and nearly get upset in week one. There's still some kings. Dan Mullen's been out of the game for a few years. I give you that. But goodness gracious, it was ugly, and it was not fun to watch at all from them. I'm going Sam Houston all the way in this one. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. And I know it's a 10.5 spread, but goodness gracious, the UNLV had a 30.5 point spread, favored over Idaho State, and won by 7, guys. And we're struggling at one point. It's struggling. I'm going Sam Houston.
See, that's tough because yes, you're right. UNLV at one. Okay, so when the line opened, I think UNLV was favored by 24 points, and all of us as a college football community decided that we wanted to hammer the money line on UNLV. So that line got moved all the way up to 33. I think it closed at 30 to 31. And you saw the result, right? Alex Orji, can we just finally stop this thing where we all of a sudden think Dan Mullen is this great quarterback whisperer? He had 2 quarterbacks. He had Dak Prescott and Tim Tebow when he was at Florida, right? This is getting to the point where they never should have got Alex Orji. Okay, I just want to say this. He went 3 for 3 for 37 yards. All right. If I tell you that stat line before the game, what is your most people from watching him last year can be like, yeah, that makes sense. He couldn't do anything at Michigan. He's not a quarterback. Okay, so he just needs to not play anymore. All right. Calandria, the backup, ended up coming in there 15-21, 195 yards, 1 touchdown. I think he should be the starter moving forward. There should be no question at all in that. Alex Orji is a bona fide running back turned quarterback. The only thing, I think UNLV is going to win the game, right? I don't think they cover. UNLV had over 300 rushing yards in their game against Idaho State. Granted, it's Idaho State. You mentioned you went down the whole trail about that doesn't mean anything. Whatever. 300 rushing yards against anybody is a very good rushing attack and rushing game. UNLV's offensive line looked really good on the run game. You had Thomas go over for almost 150 yards at 10 carries, averaging 14 yards a carry. That's crazy, right? So, and then Calandria, the backup quarterback, ended up going for 93 yards himself. So I think UNLV is promising when you take Alex Orji out of the equation. But their defense, I will say this, their defense did not look good at all. They look like a bunch of really good players that's not a team. But I think UNLV is going to win the game over Sam Houston. Sam Houston did not show me anything. Honestly, though, that score against Western Kentucky was a closer game than what the score made it look like. Yep. First half was very competitive, but I still think that UNLV is going to be the better team and get it done.
Yeah, and I'll add this to it, guys. I was being a little hyperbolic when I was saying it's only been a decade since they've been alive since '52. Trying to see when they actually made it to the FCS level, but their record book is not showing me right now. But yeah, sorry, I know because you're like, Idaho State was it was more than a day. I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. I was being hyperbolic. Great to them, and congrats on a great game. Let's not just take this away as that UNLV sucks. Idaho State put up a really good game. Head coach really knew what he was doing. I think I've heard the head coach has been doing really well up there last few years, really building out the program. So congrats to them.